9, and
100%.
let's just add a name to it. Bill Bennett, of all people, last night on Fox News said he was sure that there was fraud. I wonder where in his little book of virtues Bill found that. It's really a disgraceful, despicable thing for him to do. I don't really understand what he or Newt get out of it. I don't understand why they would try to foment violence, which they're doing, trying to spread conspiracy theories, trying to undermine American democracy. Think about that. The guy that wrote the Book of Virtues is now spending his later years trying to undermine American democracy and to sow chaos in the democratic process. And Newt, I don't understand what Newt's doing. I don't understand it. I mean, Rudy, I just feel sorry for the guy. But it goes on and on. But anyway.
It's not just Fox. I mean, Fox is its own thing, Joe, which we can talk about someday.
But wait a second. Fox News has been, you look at their interview with Kayleigh McEnany or whatever her name is. They're very tough with her. They've been very tough with other people that have come on.
Totally agree.
You look at the New York Post. Let's show the New York Post headlines. No, I think
but
for the most part.
But this is a little bit of a shift.
They've been right, but I'm talking about what's happening
Absolutely.
right now. Because let me tell you something. What's happening right now is extraordinarily critical to the functioning of American democracy. We've learned since we were children what separates the United States of America from every other country that have been our adversaries in the past is they change leaders when tanks roll into the streets. We change leaders when Americans quietly and peacefully go into voting booths, and that's what the overwhelming majority have done, and vote for who they want to be president of the United States. And the overwhelming majority of Americans want to keep it that way. The fact that there's some voices out there that aren't doing that right now, at this point in American history, it's extraordinarily reckless. And I just say, and I'm going to get to Meacham in a second, Mika, on this point, but compare how George H.W. Bush handled his loss, the dignity, the grace, the patriotism, and compare that to how these clowns are responding right now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They knew George H.W. Bush and supported him. They should be ashamed of themselves.
I totally agree with you, and I was going to say that Fox is in one category right now, but Twitter and the tweets that the Republican National Committee and different far-right Trumpers are putting up there that are just dead wrong about this process. It's a cesspool right now, and Twitter's trying to sort of fact-check and put headlines on things, but they are so far behind what needs to be done on these social media platforms to stop the spread of disinformation, which the president, using the highest office in the land from his podium, is spewing and potentially will for the days to come.
And, of course, the president in the middle of the night went after Twitter again.
He's up all night tweeting
and talked about
out.
Section 230. I got to say, that's one thing I agree with Donald Trump on. Section 230 should be eliminated. It should be abolished. And I should be able to sue Twitter for what they published earlier this year, just like the president of the United States. But again, let's take a deep breath, as we've been saying. Let's look overall at how people have responded. Mitch McConnell has responded saying, count all the votes. Vice President Mike Pence has said, count all the votes. It's funny, he said, I agree completely with the president. Count all the votes. That is not what the president of the United States said. And I just want to say, I thank Mitch McConnell. And I thank Mike Pence, and I thank all these other Republicans who are stepping forward and saying, let's count all the votes. James Baker, I thank him for saying it. By the way, right now, what happened in the past, that's not what we have to focus on right now. We have to focus on who's putting America first right now, and a hell of a lot of Republicans are when they say, let's count all the votes. Now, Gene Robinson, let's